Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Are you a tourist?
Yeah.
I see your shirt.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Nice.
I woke up very late this morning, so I'm a tourist now.
Nice.
Cool.
I was going to be something, but I couldn't get the right stuff, so.
What were you going to be?
I hadn't really thought it that far, but I knew I needed contact lenses for what I was going to be.
Dang.
But then when I didn't get the contact lenses, I just stopped planning. So it was only a half-formed idea.
That's okay.
Yes.
Well, sweet. Good. All right. Well, let's get this over with, and then we can all go Halloween it up.
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay. Okay. So we only have three
3 bullet points.
Yeah. So we can use like 10 minutes on each question if we want.
Okay.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So the first one is, how does time function in the book? And why did the author choose to use time this way? What political or socio-cultural implications can be seen in her use of time?
So when she tells stories, there's many times where she like have flashbacks or talks about what happened in the past. For example, with the Teope, when she tells the story of Reuben, that was a long, like the whole chapter was talking about this story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But why she chose to use this time in this way?
I don't know. Like, I don't know why either, but I did really think it was interesting when, what's his name? Toko? I don't know if that's how you say it, but Toko was saying, like, there was old stories and new stories, but he also talked about it in the present tense.
Yeah.
Like, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay,
yeah.
Or, like, as if they're still happening. Or, like, the stories changed. It wasn't like, this happened and then this happened. It's like, it's happening and it's changing all at the same time.
Yeah.
So the past still has an impact on the present, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like even after Toko dies, like they have that chapter at the end where he describes his own death. So
I was so confused for this part because I thought Manu died.
Mm-hmm.
But so it was Toko. Okay.
Yeah, Toko died.
That was confusing.
Yeah, it didn't say how he was killed. It just said there was a flash of light and he was dead.
Like, boom.
Oh, okay.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it was interesting that Toko also like knew things. Like I knew I was gonna catch the fish, like that day.
Yeah.
It was like he could see the future, but it was in the present, like as it was happening. I don't know.
Yeah. It was kind of like, I guess, reflective. The whole story was kind of reflective, even though it was happening in the present. It was like they were reflecting on everything all at once, like past, present, and future.
Mm-hmm.
And like that influenced. Oh, thank you. Influenced like the kind of actions that they took.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially like, I don't know what chapter it talked about the spiral, but I've heard that that's super like important in New Zealander culture is the spiral, like the idea that like nothing ever stops, like you give back to the earth and then it gives to you, and then when you die, like that spiral. So I think that.
Life and death.
Sorry, say that again.
Oh, the spiral, life and death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember where it was, but even like, I don't know. I can't like the spiral.
Oh yeah.
So it's like all happening all at once.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
So it's
try.
like if everything is a spiral and there's no beginning and no end, then I guess you could reflect on it all at once as if it was at one time.
Yeah.
It's like Heavenly Father, how all is at, like, all past, present, and future is before his eyes at once.
It's true. Like it says, a life for a life could mean you give your life to someone who has already given you his own. So it's like a people kind of.
What was that? Sorry.
No, you're okay. Just the quote is, a life for a life could mean that you give your life to someone who has already given you his own. So it's like, I don't know. Like everybody's giving each other life. And I like that, what's his name? Hemi always says, like, we have what we need.
Yeah, everything we need is here.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that like 5 times in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we're on the same question, right? So,
yeah.
Okay. But for that, it's like, I don't know. I feel like I've always felt that same way about nature. So, because, like, God gave us everything we need, but it's up to us to be able to, like, protect that. And, like, if we do, then it takes care of you, you know? So, it's like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's sad and interesting that, like, we don't view it that way, kind of. Like, it was, like, I don't know, especially in, like, American culture, I don't feel like a lot of people think about it. Like, it's always, like, past, present, future. But I like that she, like, added everything in. I don't know, to one. It made it more confusing, but I think that it shows a difference in culture, and that, like you were saying, like, nature gives to us, we give to nature. It all works out.
Yeah. Like, everything is connected in some random, well, not random, in some mystical way.
Yes. Let's see. I'm trying to see. So what political or socio-cultural implications can be seen in her use of time? So it's still the same question, but I don't really know this one.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. Political.
I don't know. I guess, like, over time, because when it's telling about when the businessmen come, it's a lot like man versus nature. So, like, development versus tradition. And I guess it's kind of talking about it in past tense, but at the same time, it talks, I don't know, it's confusing time.
Yeah, no, I agree. Politically, I don't know how she uses it politically. Time.
Yeah, I don't really understand this question.
Yeah. Because, like, culturally, it just shows, like, a difference between the colonizer and the colonized. But, like, politically, I don't know. I guess we don't have to answer that, but, like, I just was thinking about it. But we can move on if you want. I don't know.
Yeah, let's do the next one, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So discuss the role of the land in Potiki. What relationship do the characters have with the land, and why? What political or socio-cultural implications can be seen in her portrayal of the land?
well, the land is everything to them.
Yeah, it's true.
And like the biggest concern when the businessmen came was not so much that they were going to be kicked out of their home, even though that was a big concern, but it was how their development would affect the land and thus affect them. But I feel like they're more concerned about the land first than about.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I couldn't hear that last part.
I feel like they were more concerned about the land than themselves, because even though they would get kicked out of the land, they were more concerned like that the water would turn yellow and that it would like hurt all these traditional things. They were more concerned about the land being hurt than themselves being kicked out, even though they were both real threats.
Yeah.
I think so. They talk a lot about stories, like telling stories. That is like an important part in everyone's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like expressing oneself by sharing stories, it's something that is like tied to the land, because the land is where you can find people's stories. So at page 1, when chapter 15, page 104, Mata says, the land and the sea are the shores. The land and the sea and the shores are a book too, and we found ourselves there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
Yeah. It's like about identity. The land defines, is a part of defining who they are, like individually, and then like people.
Mm-hmm. Their culture and traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's true. And I feel like that is really similar to the culture here. Like, that not only do we define the land and what it is and what it stands for, but also the land defines us.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the locals, at least. Like, I don't know if I can even claim that as a student, but like, I feel like people are more respectful of the land here than on the mainland, because it is so like, it's their identity. Like, why would they destroy it? You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In my Hawaiian Studies class last semester, we learned about like the creation story, and this like really hit home for me, like with us and how the land is in relationship to us. But in the story, nature was created first as like the first child, and so like the sky mother like had a child, but it was stillborn, and so she planted it and it became like the first taro leaf. And then they had another child, and this child lived, but he became man. So it's like nature is the older brother of men and like takes care of them, and they look after each other.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's like we have a responsibility to nature, but it also has a responsibility to us. So it's like coexistence. But we're in the same family.
Yeah. I also liked when the flood came, or like the construction workers made the flood go to like their ancient burial grounds. Mm-hmm. And the original thought was not like blaming them, but also like when it started to come up, like they did this on purpose. It was more just like sadness, but they also just looked at it as like, it's okay. Like everybody's like, the gravesite's still here. At least we have it still. Even though jerk move, I hated that part. I was so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was the same thing for the fire when there was a fire. The only thing they thought about was, is everyone safe? Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least we still have the land and we still have people.
Yeah. And they were still able to save that popo too. So it was like a little bit of the past one was left for them to build the new one.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they all like helped each other, because it was like when the land is hurt, they were hurt. And so like they had people bring trucks and food and like shovels, and they try to fix the ditch, and like everybody pitched in to help, because it wasn't that it was one person's land, it's like everybody. And they even brought that up like when the people were like charging them rent. It's like, we got this land for free because we take care of it. Like, we should not be paying that money.
Yeah. I'm like, why do you pay for the land if you don't really own the land for yourself? So
Yeah.
you can't really something that you own.
That's true. Which is totally, I feel like, a European thing. Like, I feel like Europe has been, like, divided so many times, and, like, so many different peoples have, like, they needed to have boundaries. Like, okay, this is ours. Like, we conquered this. But I don't know a whole lot about this culture, but, like, it sounds like more, like, that idea of owning the land is super foreign to them. Like, no. Like,
yeah. It's like Pocahontas. You think you own whatever land you land on.
That's what I was thinking this whole time. That's so funny. So, I don't know.
Oh, and also, like when the two tribes like came together to help each other, it's like they were connected. Like later on, you find that they were like connected by an ancient like ancestor, but at that time, they were only connected by their love for the land and helping. Yeah. So it was the land that brought them together, and then later on, they found that they were like family, but the land made them family before their blood made them family.
Yeah. Okay, so what political or sociocultural implications can be seen in her portrayal of the land?
I guess like what we're talking about. Yeah. Like what were you talking about? Like you own the land, or does the land own you? Like land ownership.
Yeah. And like the guy that was trying to build on the land, that was like offering them money, obviously they like went and just tried to destroy their land instead of just buying it. But like when he was offering all the money, and people are like, no, we're not going to take your money. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. That was super interesting. And the guy didn't get it. He was like, I don't know how to reason with you people. Like, you guys are stupid because you don't know how to trade. Like, this is a good trade.
Yeah, so it wasn't like completely like out of evilness that he wanted to do these things. It's just different cultures. He didn't understand where they came from, and they didn't understand where he was coming from. So it's hard to reason with someone who like can't see your perspective.
Yeah. And they like made him sit on the ground with them and everything, and like tried to genuinely, I think, just tried to show him like what their culture is, so that he could see like, no, like this isn't how we do things. But yeah.
They were so kind with him.
Yeah. And patient. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Up until the end. Or like even I feel like they were still respectful, even though the other people were very respectful.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like even when they went to go stand in the road and they just like moved them out of the road. But
I
feel like if someone was like protesting the native people and like went and stood in the road for something, they would have like listened to them or something.
Yeah.
But at the time it was all about profit, so they're like, get out of the road.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Yeah, it's just interesting how people see land differently, because the guy that was trying to make it like a paradise for people like to come, and he's like, don't you want people to like have amenities or whatever? And they're like, we already do. Like, we have the ocean and land and fruits and like all this other stuff. Like, what else could you need?
Yeah, it's like this land is already a paradise, and you just make it touristy, which will make it not a paradise.
I agree.
I was telling them that it's gonna be an advantage for them, but they couldn't see any benefits.
Yeah.
I don't know what benefits he was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like financial, like the town would have more like
Oh yeah, just the
and
money.
like worldly stuff, but they didn't really need that.
That's true.
They're very poor, yeah.
Yeah,
But they don't want the money. They just want the land.
that's true. Yeah, because like financially, I guess they could be poor, but why would you need money if you have everything?
Yeah.
I kind of get that. But we could move on to the next question if you want. So,
Okay.
what messages do you find in the novel, and what role does folklore have in communicating these messages?
Messages.
I don't know.
Where are my notes? Notes.
Don't sell your land.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the way that the story is told is super unique because it goes from person to person, and then there's some chapters that aren't a person; they're just like third
Mm-hmm.
person. Um, so it just gives like everybody's perspective, and like I don't know. I sometimes I kind of wish that we could have gotten more perspectives of different people rather.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always Ruimata or Toko or Hemi.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah. I guess like in the pre reading it talks about like how the Maori world is an oral culture, so they don't really have like what's written language. It's more like everything is done orally, which I
yeah,
guess kind of makes sense to the way the story is written, because they're all reflecting on what has happened and what will happen and what's happening at this point in time. I don't know.
yeah. I was confused at the beginning because they started out with kind of a like postmodern, like crazy, like the wood guy, the wood carver. Like that kind of threw me off. I'm like, is this in the past or the present, or is this like foreshadowing? So I don't know.
Yeah.
What did you guys think?
That's okay. I'm on a meeting. I'm sorry. Okay.
We're almost done too. Like 7 more
Yeah.
minutes and we'll be done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think of the story at the beginning? Like, how was that confusing to you guys, or?
No, I didn't think so because it all tied up at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was
How does it start again?
when they have the master wood carver and he's carving the water nui and making all the popo, but then he's like dying, so he leaves like one of them unfinished, partly because he's dying and also because he doesn't feel like it's right to finish it at that point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's tied to the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I love books like this, especially like different cultural books, because I think that like you get different stories than the ones at least I've heard like all the time. So even if I'm confused, I'm like I'm willing to go with it because I want to know these stories. Like I want to know what connects them all.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. But yeah.
Yep. I think. What was the question one more time?
Oh, what messages do you find in the novel, and then what role does folklore have in communicating these messages? Kind of themes. I don't know. Identity, I feel like, has been the theme throughout all of the books, so I feel like that's too easy to like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the land is a big one.
Mhm.
Even though the Dollarman comes back like several times, they never give up.
That's
They
true.
always stick to their decision.
Mhm. I think like treasuring the land goes back to like their folklore as well.
Yeah.
Because like in like the creation stories and about the gods and how the world started, it talks about how they come from the land and then what that means for them. So
Yeah.
I guess it could also do with like Toko's ability to like know things in the future, because he does have like that spiritual awareness like gifted to him from the gods.
Yeah.
He has a special knowledge.
Mhm.
And I think family is another theme that like it's all around, like I don't know what like encompasses everything, like even when Toko was little, like he knew who his mother was, but then when what's her name, Ro
Matt.
yeah, when she took care of him, he still called her mom, like my mother and my father, Hemi, and and then my second mother, Mary, or I guess she'd be the first mother and stuff like that. So that was a huge theme. Like everybody just kind of got along, like and did what was best for the family. That is my opinion. Yeah.
And like we said, the oral teachings that play an important role in the understanding of the Maori culture.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. And like the wood carving, I thought that was really interesting. How it's like the heart of the tree stuff. Did we lose Aloha? I think we did. It's okay. I think we're done. Like I think we did everything we can do.
How many minutes? Oh, she left the call.
We left. Well, I think we spent, I mean, I have 28 and a half minutes, so probably just
I
about.
think it's fine,
Yeah, it'll be okay. So anyway, yeah.
Well,
Happy Halloween.
happy Halloween.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.